Here's your news for April 23, 2020. We're starting today with news from the WWE 24/7 champion, as Rob Gronkowski's return to the NFL may mean bad news for WWE. Earlier this week, the retired New England Patriots star was traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but according to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, this may mean that he may not wrestle for Vince McMahon. According to Florio, the verbiage in NFL contracts state that players cannot partake in any behavior with a, quote, significant risk of personal injury, and we have to imagine that that includes wrestling, as the risks involved are very widely known. In a video uploaded from the official Buccaneers Twitter account, Gronkowski said that he needed a lot of security, though also noted that even security people could try and win the title that he must defend at all times. Given that he is no longer retired from the NFL, it looks like Gronk won't be wrestling for WWE until he leaves the Bucs, and time will tell what WWE ends up doing with its 24/7 championship. We are once again looking at WWE's recent releases, as former referee Mike Chioda has commented on being cut from the company. After over 3 decades as a referee for WWE, Chioda was cut last week as part of the company's money-saving tactics, but in his first public comments since his release, had nothing negative to say about his former employer. He said, "I want to say thanks to the WWE and to all my amazing WWE fans in universe. 35 years and 31 refereeing working for the WWE has been a fantastic run. I'm so proud to have worked with so many icons and amazing talent in this industry. Thank you all. One love, Mike Chioda." Chioda went on to give a very special thanks to all his former co-workers and fans who have reached out to him, though just like any superstars, Chioda will have to wait 90 days before he can work elsewhere. Given the current global situation, having 90 days at home isn't exactly the worst thing for the veteran official, and while he may be out of a job, this setback hasn't stopped him from having a great attitude about this awful situation. Speaking of WWE's cuts, we've got news from AEW now, as the relatively new promotion had their own reaction to last week's Black Wednesday, which saw wrestlers, producers, announcers, referees, coaches, and writers being let go by Vince McMahon. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, who spoke to his own sources in AEW, the new company is handling things rather well, as the wrestlers Sean spoke to were quick to praise the leadership of Tony Khan during these difficult times. It was also reported that Khan had gone above and beyond to make sure that everyone in AEW is being taken care of. There was a lot of concern from the AEW roster about the loss of potential work within WWE, as Vince McMahon's cost-cutting measures have made it clear he's not looking to hire anyone at this time. Sean also reported that many AEW stars were curious to see just how high up the totem pole the cuts would go, and we hope that everyone who was released or furloughed are able to land on their feet. One person fans shouldn't expect to see back in WWE anytime soon is Ryback Reeves, as the former Intercontinental Champion has been vocal about Vince McMahon once again, this time over these recent layoffs. Speaking on his podcast, the big guy said that the boss was playing a, quote, very dangerous game, and said that McMahon has mistreated wrestlers for far too long. He added, "There's a good way to do business and a bad way. He hasn't done this the most ideal way, and I think it's common knowledge. So what's happened, people? This guy that has created billions off the backs of the men and women that have made him who he is? The first time it hits the fan, he's cutting losses everywhere." The big guy would then move on to address rumors of these layoffs being unnecessary, saying that this proves that McMahon has never had the backs of those who work for him. This is hardly the first time that Ryback has criticized McMahon, even referring to the WWE chairman as a pimp in December last year. But with reports of these releases being unnecessary, we doubt the big guy is the only one with this opinion. Over to AEW now, and it may be some time before fans see MJF in the ring again. Last week, the cocky star alerted fans that he might need surgery, and though some were concerned, most fans celebrated this fact. On this week's Dynamite, MJF spoke more about his injury, saying that he suffered what he described as a life-threatening hangnail injury while throwing cash around during a gambling session. There's currently no timetable on when he'll be back, but we shouldn't expect Friedman to be any humbler when he returns to the AEW ring. We've got some news from SmackDown now, as though Elias was able to survive last Wednesday's releases, it may be quite some time before fans see the singer-songwriter in the ring again. During yesterday's edition of The Bump, it was reported that Elias suffered a bruised larynx and broken fingers during the brutal attack by King Corbin on last Friday's SmackDown. As of right now, it's unclear when Elias will be medically cleared to compete again, but hopefully fans will get some answers about the condition of the former 24/7 champion on this week's edition of SmackDown. Now, we all know that the WWE is currently having to host their events without a live audience, but it looks like the company is hoping things will go back to normal in the coming months. This week, a Twitter user known as Balor Club fan, who attends a ton of WWE events, contacted the TD Garden in Boston to see what the situation is regarding SummerSlam, and according to the venue, nothing has changed in the plans for the biggest party of the summer. If WWE's plans go ahead, then SummerSlam will take place from the Garden on August 23rd, though given the current global situation, anything can change. Given that the company has already had to move both WrestleMania and Money in the Bank, it's entirely possible they have to move SummerSlam if this current situation doesn't go away. But for now, the company seems hopeful that the biggest party of the summer will take place live in Boston on August 23rd. We have some very sad news to report now, as WCW announcer Joe Pedicino has died, aged 70. After suffering a stroke in June last year, Pedicino spent his final year with his health issues, though serving as a referee isn't all that Pedicino did, as he hosted a few different TV series as well. In the 80s, he also created and produced the show Pro Wrestling This Week, which allowed fans across the United States to watch the NWA. This is truly a sad day, and we would like to send our deepest condolences to Pedicino's family, friends, and fans at this truly difficult time. Back to WWE now, and WWE Hall of Famer Tori Wilson revealed an uncomfortable story from her time in wrestling this week. Taking to social media, the former Playboy star claimed that Sarah, the ex-wife of The Undertaker, wanted to, quote, beat her up backstage, and described Sarah as crazy. She said, "I'm just gonna tell you, she was batshit crazy, and she did think I liked somebody. Not her husband, she thought I liked somebody else, and she wanted to beat me up because she thought I liked somebody else's husband, which I didn't. That's not my game." Fans may remember Sarah for her brief stint in the WWF, where she was stalked by Diamond Dallas Page in 2001 before becoming part of her husband's storyline with Brock Lesnar the following year. Despite having a tattoo of her name on his neck, The Undertaker's marriage would not last, as the pair would divorce in 2010, with the Phenom marrying Michelle McCool in 2010. It should be noted that so far, this is just Wilson's side of the story, but if true, it certainly paints a worrying picture of what was going on backstage in WWE at the time. From one controversial figure in wrestling to another now, as Ronda Rousey's comments about the fans and her future in WWE continues to be a hot-button issue for many people in the company. This week, WWE COO Triple H spoke about Rousey's comments, describing the former Raw Women's Champion as an expert of pushing buttons, and added, "The question for people is she promoting, or are these her true feelings? I think that is where the rub comes in for most people. I think that's what makes this intriguing. Is this the real Ronda Rousey? Or is this the Ronda Rousey she wants you to see? Is this Ronda manipulating people? Or is this Ronda just being Ronda?" Fans haven't seen the UFC Hall of Famer since she lost her title to Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 35, and though the game has made it clear that he plans on Rousey being back with the company in 2021, time will tell whether this actually happens. We've got some big news from NXT now, as though former Universal Champion Finn Balor was set to face Velveteen Dream, that match never got underway. Shortly before the match, WWE NXT tweeted that there was an incident backstage with Balor, claiming, "Ahead of tonight's episode of NXT, officials have learned of a possible incident involving Finn Balor inside the NXT locker room. This is a developing story. More information will be provided when available." There's no shortage of people who could have targeted Balor, from Imperium to Karrion Kross, as taking out a former Universal, NXT, and Intercontinental Champion is a quick way to jump up the totem pole. Instead of facing Balor, Dream was saved from an Undisputed Era beatdown by Keith Lee, and it'll be very interesting to see where the storyline involving Balor goes from here. And finally today we have some news from SmackDown, and while Cesaro has seemingly everything needed to be pushed to the moon in WWE, including a great look, immense power, and technical prowess, that hasn't quite worked out for him. Instead, the Swiss Cyborg has spent the majority of his career in the mid-card or tag team division, and according to former WWE producer Arn Anderson, there are many higher-ups who don't like Cesaro, and have even banned some of his more impressive moves. He said, "He's not a favorite guy, as you know, of the front office for whatever reason that is. They're the only ones that I know because everyone else across the planet seems to think he's a superstar. But he continued to get leaned on to stop doing all that stuff, impressive moves as a heel. It was just too flashy and all that stuff." After nearly 8 years on the main roster, it doesn't look like Cesaro will ever receive that main event push fans have been hoping for years, and many have been left wondering whether he'd do better in another company such as AEW.